So after publishing that last video essay where I compared McFarlane toys to Marvel Legends and all the extensive work I put behind that essay with the editing and the shooting, I really wanted to kind of go on a little bit of a break, somewhat without telling you guys, just to kind of keep it on the download. I was going to go on like a week-long break, maybe 2 weeks, or at least the first week, not do anything. Second week, just batch record, batch film a bunch of things that I got coming down the pipeline. Except that vacation, so to speak, is all but practically done because Sony, in collaboration with Marvel, decided to drop a brand new trailer for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And I knew that I needed to do at least a reaction as well as a breakdown. I don't know about a breakdown fully because there's just so much going on. At the same time, I don't really want to spoil myself because the wonder about some of these movies with Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, and even some of the other films that have been produced by Lord and Miller, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, they love to put a lot of stuff in the movies to make them very rewatchable. Lego Movie, Cloud with a Chance of Meatballs, there's so many things that I just don't want to ruin for myself based on just the trailer I'm watching at home. I really want to save that stuff up for the theater experience, and I definitely don't want to tamper with that when it comes to Spider-Man. So I may not rewatch this necessarily, especially since this trailer is already kind of pushing it with a 2-minute and 50-second running time, and I feel like that's just a little longer than your traditional trailer, so hopefully they don't show too much. But now, let's get on with the reaction. Trailer starts now. Oh, got that music.
My name is Miles Morales. I'm Brooklyn's one and only Spider-Man. And things are going great.
A little older.
You were supposed to be here at 5.
Alright, whatever.
Whatever.
Wow.
Whatever?
Uh-oh.
So are you like a cow or a Dalmatian?
I am the Spot.
Ew, I hate his body. He's the reason why I don't want that Marvel Legends figure.
Miles's grades are pretty good. A in AP Physics
That's my little man.
and a B in Spanish.
Okay. Miles. Are you trying Mira, eso es imposible.
I gotta go. Alright, bye.
He's lying to you, and I think you know it.
Oh, I keep forgetting he hasn't told his parents yet.
Miles! Want to get out of here?
Oh, when? So wait a minute. There's an elite crew with all the best spider people in it?
Who's the new guy?
Which one is that one?
This is the
Oh, if only we could get figures out of all of them, but I know that they're all pretty much going to be very bare bones. Oh, is Jessica pregnant?
You can never be part of this.
Don't even get me started on Doctor Strange and the little nerd back on Earth 1999-99.
Come on, go easy on the kid. He had a terrible teacher.
Peter,
Miles!
you have a baby?
I have a baby.
I'll take it from here.
Miles.
Doctor.
being Spider-Man is a sacrifice.
There have been rumors that we might get Tom and Toby in this.
Between saving one person and saving every world.
Yo, what is wrong with Miguel? Why does he look so animalistic?
Send me home.
I can't do that.
I can do both. Spider-Man always.
Not always.
What about Uncle Ben?
If not for Uncle Ben, most of us wouldn't be here.
And I like that they brought back the song for his leap.
I can't lose one more friend.
That isn't what we talked about.
You knew?
You have no idea what you're doing!
Everyone keeps telling me how my story is supposed to go. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing.
All stations, stop Spider-Man!
I
looked at my uncle and...
Let me guess. He died.
a pointing meme with that within a pointing meme. That's like 16 pointing memes. June 2nd. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure my Fandango notifications are live for when those tickets go live. That's gonna be a Thursday night showing. I don't care. That's not a delayed thing. That's not no. So again, there's just so much to kind of extrapolate in terms of like little shots of what's going on in the background. But the key takeaways that really stuck with me is the fact that Jessica Drew is pregnant. I mean, there's even that shot where she's on the motorcycle, but she literally touches her stomach and looks down. So I wonder if there's some kind of connection or some kind of reasoning behind that from a storytelling perspective, or maybe why that is why Miguel cares so much. Maybe that's Miguel's kid. Noticing that there is a bit of a parallel there of her being pregnant while at the same time Peter having a kid of his own, and now it's confirmed, in the trailer. In the first trailer, he just had the baby holder, but we didn't really see the kid. This time we can clearly see that, for the most part, Peter and Mary Jane kind of patched things up in that other part of the world, or other part of the Spider-Verse, and looks like they have a kid. But that Peter being a parent is not only going to be a clean setup for jokes, but also for an arc that I knew wasn't ready yet, which explains why we're not getting all the Spider people back. Even though we have a shit ton of Spider people and a bunch of people that are coming after Miles, and then pointing at each other with that meme that they're doubling down on. It's also a little bit of a bummer, but it's understandable that we're not getting some of the Spider people we got in the first one. Noir, Penny with the Spider-Bot, which the Spider-Bot technically died, spoilers, but Penny, Noir, and Ham. And they're not returning here. But at the same time, it kind of makes sense because you're already dealing with so many Spider people here, some of which are just going to be kind of in the background, like you saw those people in that zooming out shot. But at the same time, the main ones are going to be part of the main story. Jessica Drew, Miguel O'Hara, Peter coming back. And then it's sounding like Spider-Punk and Spot. Yeah, obviously the Spot is going to be a running joke / secondary villain here. But Spider-Punk is supposed to be a little bit more predominant in this. He wasn't really featured that much in this trailer, and I'm looking forward to seeing Daniel Kaluuya play him. I think that's gonna be. I'm eager to see if he's gonna do like a British rocker type of thing with the character, and I think that's gonna be dope. Outside of that, though, like I said, the key takeaways is that Miguel O'Hara is definitely going to be our antagonist, which is pretty ballsy to make an actual Spider-Man, and not an evil Spider-Man, but rather a Spider-Man that you traditionally perceive as a hero. 2099, even though he's a bit more aggressive than your traditional Peter Parker, he's always been still the main protagonist of his own corner of the universe. So to make him the antagonist here, ballsy, but at the same time, it kind of feeds into what makes a great villain, is when they think they're the hero of their own story. And traditionally, 2099 is the hero of his, Shock City or whatever it's called, wherever he's from. So I'm looking forward to that, and it's good to see that Oscar Isaac is reprising the role. A little weird that they yoked him up for the sequel, and because if you guys remember the end credit scene, he's a bit on the slimmer side, but it's neat that he's probably going to be one of the finer villains, mainly because we're probably not going to be able to fully see him as a villain, and that's probably going to work in the movie's favor. Like I said, I don't really want to rewatch too much of the movie because I feel like it's pushing it with the 2 minute and 50 second, and I just don't want to spoil myself too much. That meme, I saw somebody share it on Twitter, but I wanted to see it in full motion, and it still managed to crack me up in the way that it was delivered here in the trailer, so I was glad to see. But at the same time, like I said, I don't want to look at images too much, and I want to wait until I finally see the movie June 2nd. Now, let me address a slight little elephant here. That line that Miguel had that I wish wasn't in the trailer, to be quite honest, even though in the moment I was like, jaw dropped and everything, was the mentioning of Doctor Strange. And then he mentions, and that kid, and age-wise, kind of lines up with Tom Holland's Peter, just got out of high school, going into college, trying to see if he's getting accepted with the timeline of No Way Home, and he mentioned Doctor Strange, and it's like, I know that there were rumors circulating that we might get Tom, maybe even Toby and Andrew showing up in this one. Gotta be honest, this is the one instance where I might have to put the foot down and say no, don't do it. That works best for live action because that's where they originated. That's where they have their much, more concrete stamp on the franchise as live action. To see him transcend into voice, even with the animation style that this is in, I don't know what it is. It just kind of takes me out of it. I as much of a Spider-Man fan, as much as I love Toby and Andrew, and as geeked out as I was seeing them in No Way Home, I actually personally kind of hope they keep them out of Across the Spider-Verse. I feel like that'll be oversaturation. It's almost like putting too much chocolate syrup on my sundae, and after a little while, I'm kind of like, I'm getting a little grossed out here. Not to say that I'm getting grossed out by this, but I just feel like it's just too much. And so that line, I feel like they could have either cut it out of the trailer, because that, to me, kind of plants a little bit of a concern And I just don't want him to, again, just make everything just be like, everything's connected and we have to throw in Toby. We have to throw in because of how well the reception was in there. And I'm of the mind where I'm like, focus on the story more. And that's where, that's one of the finer things about the trailer that gets me geeked, is knowing that Miguel O'Hara, despite always being the hero, is practically going to be our main movie, or I should say movies, villain. Because for those of you who might have forgotten, or some of you just don't know, this is technically supposed to be a part oneer, and we're supposed to get a part two, which I'm fully expecting this to end in the cliffhanger, possibly with that fight that they're on the train between Miguel and Miles. And Miles probably has something up his sleeve to make his story end the way that he wants to, and that's probably going to be where we're going to be cutting to black and waiting until next year to see how it all unfolds. So what did you guys think of the trailer? What were the key takeaways that you had? What are some of your theories that you have revolving around 2099 Miguel O'Hara Spider-Man, and why it is that he's the villain, and why it is that he's trying to wrap things up? Do you think he's trying to right some kind of wrong, or do you think that he sees himself as the hero and the others the villains, and makes everything kind of in a gray area? And what are some of the things that you're expecting to pop up as far as the unique spider people, unique villains? And are you for or against the potential rumor that might or may not have been confirmed by that throwaway line of the Doctor Strange line that Toby, Andrew, and Tom might be in this one? I'll meet you guys halfway with this one. I don't want Toby and Andrew. Tom, okay, maybe throw in Tom in there, but not the other guys, because like I said, at that point, it might just be a little bit of overkill. Let me know in the comments. Hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. If you did, hit the thumbs down, up. If not, hit the thumbs down. And I'm going to go back to my slight little break while I wait for my Figure Arts Toby figure to get here. And look forward to that review. Until then, you know what to do. Stay humble.